industry's highest training standards as a gold-class shop. They know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features. Choose Jim's Collision on East Federal Highway in Roscommon and online at choosejims.com.
Shopping can be fun, unless you're shopping for insurance. Trying to compare policies can be confusing. Cornell Agency wants to be your personal insurance shopper. Auto, home, life, and recreational vehicles, health, Medicare, and even business. They handle it all. Cornell works with multiple insurance companies, so you know their rates will always be competitive, friendly, knowledgeable, and there when you need them. Give Cornell Agency a call at 989-348-6761. That's 989-348-6761.
Good morning, Northern Michigan, and welcome to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Jerry Coyne, Rich Calkins live in studio. Rich and I were just talking about, I had made plans, and hopefully we get to hear from George Blaha, a local Grayling boy.
That's right.
But the Pistons, the most successful team of the residents at Little Caesars Arena, although kind of a puzzling stumble last night, Rich.
Yeah, it certainly was against Washington Wizards team that they,
They're looking for Cooper Flag.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And from a chippy game just a few nights ago, that was very physical, some things going on and potential shenanigans and all of that. And with that Pistons win a few nights ago, and then last night, man, they just could not defensively. They kind of let themselves down. They've been playing really good, solid defense all year long, and last night just was not their night defensively.
Yeah, well, they gave up a lot of rebounds, which was surprising. But the one thing that the Wizards do have is some size.
They do.
They had the second pick in the draft, the Alex Sarr kid, who is not quite. What's the name of
the Rasha show or the other?
No. Who plays for the Spurs?
Oh, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. Cut from the same mold.
Yep.
Another French basketball player.
Long, lanky.
Can handle it, can
yes.
shoot a little bit. Sarr had a pretty good game last night. They were still poised to win that game last night. Cade Cunningham turned the ball over on a possession where they would have taken the lead and probably won the game. And the script got flipped.
It did. Yeah, he got a lot of calls last night, went to the free throw line a ton, did Cade Cunningham. Did not make a three last night. His outside shot overall throughout the season has improved immensely.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
So, yeah, that you can expect an off night here and there. I think he was 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. But, again, big picture, he has improved so much from the outside, and his free throw percentage has increased so much as well. So you can tell this guy has worked on his game so much in the last couple of years.
He's healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
You cannot believe how different your game is, no matter what sport you're playing, when you're really healthy. And this is the first year that he, since he's been in the league, that he hasn't had any afflictions. And
right. And when we talk about it all the time, there's a difference between rehabbing from an injury and then going into an off season healthy and being able to work on your game.
Yeah.
Total difference in rehabbing and working on your game. And it's nice to see the dividends paying off for him and this Piston team.
J.B. Bickerstaff has been an extremely important addition to this team. And that's kind of what is upsetting about last night's result. And Bickerstaff stressed it before the game. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter, when you tell, you got to take these guys seriously.
That's right. This is that consummate trap game. You overlook your opponent here because they got a big one with OKC this weekend.
Yep, and a team that you handled quite easily the night before. They're still in town. But Bickerstaff, I heard an interview with him before the game. He's like, we liken this to the playoffs. The Pistons are going to be in the playoffs.
They are.
depending on how things break and everything else, they could be hosting a playoff series at Little Caesars Arena. They're going to have some games there anyways, but if they get into the 4th spot,
Right.
they'll be the home team there.
I mean, because Indiana and Milwaukee, both just in front of them, are not running away with that 4 and 5 spot.
No.
I mean, the Pistons
Milwaukee
are right
beat the
there.
Lakers quite handily last night.
They certainly did. And without LeBron James, of course, but again, they have, with Giannis and Antetokounmpo and Dame Dollar. And
Well, they're going to end up playing probably one of those two teams in a 7-game series, Milwaukee or Indiana, two teams that they really haven't had a lot of success with. So there's 16 games left in the season, and the Pistons have some tough games ahead of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that shakes out.
Yeah, no question about it, JC. And like you were mentioning, they've been such a fun watch this year. There's plenty of room on the bandwagon still for people to jump on there. So, but yeah, Saturday, the OKC game, and then at New Orleans, that should definitely be a win there. And then at Miami, and then at Dallas. So those are all games that are going to be very competitive, for sure. So it's going to be really the schedule is going to really be tough here. That OKC team, of course, they're continuing to battle for supremacy of the NBA. A lot of people saw that game the other night against Boston, where OKC went and won that game against the Celtics, so the defending NBA champs. And so JC getting a hold of George Blaha here.
Okay, let's welcome into the program Grayling's favorite son, George Blaha. George, thanks for joining us on Friday Faceoff. Rich Calkin joining us.
Great to be on with you guys. How are you today?
Good. It's there's no canoe marathon today, so it's nice to have you outside of our normal appearance.
Yeah, I see springtime sneaking up on us. Maybe we'll see each other on the golf course this summer. You never know.
Yeah, I hope so. George, we just started our conversation about the Pistons. Kind of a puzzling loss last night, although when you look at the optics of it, a real trap game.
Yes, it was. And, Chris Middleton played like the Chris Middleton who was a 3-time All-Star and a gold medalist and an NBA champ.
Uh-huh.
He kind of anchored things for Washington last night. They had, some very good young players step up. I like Alex Sarr a lot, second pick in the draft.
Right.
They're big man. And so, all things considered, they're going to win a game or two before the season's over. Unfortunately, it happened to be last night at Detroit. I would call it a puzzling loss. I agree with you, but these are all NBA players. That's why when you talk about a college team beating an NBA team, every NBA team has 15 NBA players, and most of the good ones for the Wizards played last night.
George, the Cade Cunningham, I don't even know if you can put into words the improvement he's made this year. People now comparing him to Grant Hill and some other things. I always thought that he was the guy we should have taken with the first pick in the draft. He's finally playing like that.
Exactly. Well, the first time I saw him, guys, I saw him as a stat sheet stuffer. The guy can do everything.
Right.
And generally does. But he's become so good at everything. He was good to very good. Now he's darn near great at everything. And I believe he's going to get better. He has a great feel for the game.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker. He'll give you however many minutes you need him to give you. For instance, last night he played better than 38 minutes. He's a 37, 38, 39-minute guy if it's a competitive game, which it was, so we had to play him that many minutes. He's a a very good leader. He's an understated guy. Couldn't be any more friendly. And some guys that are super talented walk into the arena like they're somebody. He doesn't do that. That's not him at all. And so that's good for his teammates too. They feel like he's one of the guys.
Yeah. Now, George, talk about the effect of what J.B. Bickerstaff has had on this team in his very first year of coaching the Pistons.
Amazing. I remember the Bad Boys loved playing for Chuck Daly. They're the ones that named him Daddy Rich. The going to work guys who won a title loved playing for Larry Brown, or LB as they called him, because they knew he was a genius.
Amen.
And these guys love playing for JB. He's a great leader who is not overbearing. Every time there's a guy gets called over to him during a game for a correction, it almost always ends with a smile and a pat on the rear, as opposed to some coaches who are screaming at him. So that's the kind of guy he is. It works for him. Everybody on this team loves playing for him, and I think that's number one. Number two, he does have a system. He wants these guys to play defense, not necessarily on the offensive end stand behind the three-point line and just jack up shots. He wants them to get good shots and attack the basket and get out and run. I mean,
they do.
He gives when the Pistons get the ball is to get down the court ASAP. And generally, if you run, that means you got to stop or you force the turnover. And these guys the numbers show that the Pistons are one of the leaders in the league in fast break points, dunks, forcing turnovers, and at defensive numbers. So what he has installed with the Pistons since the first day of training camp has certainly worked.
Speaking of guys that have improved, Jalen Duren improvement has almost been a shock, George.
Yeah, I always felt he's a great guy and wanted to do what's right. He just needed to get more comfortable with the NBA game and understand that he can play against any of these guys. It's not that he was a guy with no confidence, but the more and more he played, the more and more he realized all the things that he could do. And Cade makes it a no-brainer for him on offense with all those set-up lobs, right?
Sure.
So he gets 2 or 3 dunks a game. The Pistons, I believe, lead the league in dunks. If not, they're close. And Jalen, whether you want to go outside and shoot jump shots or not, he doesn't have to. All but 3 of his field goal attempts this season have come in the paint. The whole season. Yeah. And, people wanted Isaiah Stewart to shoot threes, and he proved that he could learn how, and he could be adequate and be more of a power forward. But I think what JB did was put guys in positions that were inside their comfort zone and where they could really excel. And you brought up Jalen Duren. Isaiah Stewart's another one. He is so good at protecting the basket. Now he has a field goals against percentage around the basket that hasn't been seen in the NBA in a number of years. So, and the guy loves his role. He accepts his role. He knows that's what he's best at, and he's courageous because you can get hurt blocking dunks. You break your hand, but it hasn't happened yet.
Well, as a defensive stopper myself back in the prehistoric days, you gotta love Duren and Asur Thompson. I mean, these guys get after it. I mean, they might not show up too much on the offensive slate, but their impact on the defense is so important to what has made this team's turnaround astounding.
Yes, I agree with you. You have guys like that. They're reminiscent in a way of Dennis Rodman and John Sally coming off the bench for the Bad Boys. They're just They're in your face. They're quick. They're young. They're a pain in the neck. And Ron Holland is another hustle guy.
Yeah.
He's still learning. He makes a few mistakes, but they're effort mistakes as opposed to just standing around. So when JB goes to his bench for some of those defensive guys, man, they're a nuisance for the offense. Yeah,
and George, you talk about it, a Sir Thompson. It would be easy for him he sees his twin brother and what he's doing scoring-wise in Houston and doing some things like that. And you could see the Sir possibly getting caught up in all that. Well, I need to duplicate what my brother's doing, this and that. But he doesn't seem to do that. He knows his role, and he's really exceeding at it.
I agree with you. He's on this team, there are a few things he can do offensively. He can actually handle the ball, and he knows enough about the offense to start the offense. So in some cases, Cade does not have to have the ball, which really helps Cade a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit to a lot, because some nights he's just worn out because he's got to have the ball. But now that Jaden Ivey broke his leg. However, Sarr, for the most part, concentrates on defense and on getting up and down the court.
Yeah. And
he's good around the basket. Very good around the basket. And he can find a way to be lightning quick, get in there, reverse it off the glass, whatever is necessary to score. That's when he scores, period. And that's okay with him at this point anyway.
Well, the game that they played against the Celtics, what was it, 10 days ago or so, George? The defensive intensity on that really did remind me of the old Celtics days, and the looks on the faces of the Tatums and the Browns in that game, like, get away from me.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
That's probably the question people have asked. Nobody expected this. I expected they'd be a play-in team, maybe push for the playoffs, but they're a team that's now dangerous for anybody to play, I believe, in the postseason.
Yeah, it's gonna. Rich and I were just talking about. It looks like probably they're going to end up playing a 7-game series versus the Pacers or the Bucks to start the playoffs. They haven't fared too well against either of those teams this year, but in a 7-game series, it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe building, getting back to a huge rivalry with the Pacers, which would be really good for the NBA.
I agree. And if they end up 6th and play the Knicks,
I like that.
Headlines because that's a New York team.
Yeah,
that's a talented team, and that's a team that plays hard and has a great coach. So almost anything that happens in the postseason would be good and a great opportunity for the Pistons. And this is hopefully the first of a number of years in the postseason.
One last thing, George, you can't discount how great Hardaway has been for this team. I wasn't sure what we were going to get from him. I bet you were thinking the same thing.
Well, I knew this. He was well coached by my man John Beeline in Michigan, and he, he's also well coached by his dad, and they're very close. His dad's a Hall of Famer, and he, in his day, and he still has it, by the way. I was thinking that when he got here, as soon as I saw him on the court, I said, he still got it. He's a classic jump shooter. I mean, this guy is pure, and he shoots the right way.
It's pretty.
Coach Fred Vincent's not going to work on his jump shot. Let's put it that way. He's the jump shot fixer, and I'm sure he hadn't said a word to Tim Hardaway except keep doing what you're doing. And he's smart, he's tough, he hustles, willing to take charges. And I think rather than be relegated to a 7-man situation for a Dallas team that last year made it all the way to the finals, he's an integral part of this team. He's a starter, and he again is part of their toughness quotient. Even though he's a classic jump shooter, don't think he's not tough, because he is.
And then, same thing for Tobias Harris. He's probably thinking like, Well, I don't know what's going to happen here in Philly, and lo and behold, the Pistons are, 20 games better than the 76ers.
Oh, yeah. And the fans in Philadelphia are merciless. They boo anything, and Kawhi's got a nice contract over there. How many points are you going to score with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on the team?
Sure.
And he played well there.
Yeah, he did.
17 or 18.
Yep.
And he doesn't make mistakes. Doesn't take bad shots. That's exactly what he's doing. He's a very bright guy. And to get him back, to be able to do the right thing each and every time he touches the ball has been priceless. And you got to add Malik Beasley to that group. My God.
Yes.
Yeah, Beasley's been great.
Great attitude. Positive guy. He gets on our charter plane and fist bumps everybody from the top of the plane to the bottom. If you're on the phone, you look over and whoop, he's got his fist right there waiting for you.
George,
good guy.
I've known you for a while now, and people that know you well know that how much you like to look good. Your affinity for fine clothes is very well known. I'm wondering if that tacky NBA Hall of Fame blazer is gonna, if you're gonna feel pretty good about putting that thing on.
No matter what they want me to put on, I'm putting it on. And they say you're supposed to, your wife's supposed to wear all her diamonds. So Mary's looking for them right now.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a long time coming for you. I think a lot of people that know your history as one of the great broadcasters in any sport, and obviously doing it for football and basketball, that had to be a phone call that sent you through the moon.
Great phone call. I was in Chicago. We played back-to-back against the Bulls. Ready for the second game. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My cell phone rings. It's not somebody that's in your contacts. So you're saying, who is this?
Yeah.
Do I answer? Do I make him leave a message? Then I saw Springfield, Mass. So maybe I better answer this. I still wasn't sure it was the Hall of Fame. There are other people who live in Springfield, Massachusetts, but the gentleman then told me that I'd been selected and that they would take care of getting my family there and me there the second Friday and Saturday of September next fall, and I should plan on it. And we had a nice little conversation about all the games I'd done and so forth. But then when we hung up, I thought, holy cow. I did get the call, and the guy couldn't have been nicer, and it kind of put everything in focus. If people say it should have happened earlier, I'm kind of glad it happened now. I mean, I've got my 50th season coming up next year, and why not have it happen right now? I'm not the least bit upset that it didn't happen years ago.
Yeah, well, I tell you, George, that's absolutely amazing. I'm sure you've exceeded all of your wildest dreams, growing up here in Grayling, and then now, you're a Hall of Fame broadcaster, and the things that you've done, you've certainly represented Northern Michigan very well, and we're really proud of you.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I hope I have, when my dad moved us up there from Iowa, where I really grew up, after being born in Detroit, I wondered, where in the world are we living? But the longer you're around Northern Michigan, the more you realize the beauty of the place and the decency of the people. Right. I couldn't ask for a better place to live, and we're still there. We're not too far from Grayling right now in Gaylord.
Right. Yeah, George. A neat little aside. So a couple days, I texted you, and I'm sure you got 10,000 texts over the couple of days, and it was so nice that you acknowledged my text. And And I had the same. I saw Mike Stone a couple days later, and he mentioned the same thing to me. I go, well, that's George Blaha. Well deserved. Not just on a professional level, but you're one of the truly great guys. So humble, and we really appreciate all that we get to interact with you during the marathon and here today as well.
Well, you guys do a wonderful job for Grayling and for Northern Michigan, because we're talking about Grayling now. We're not talking about a town no one ever heard of. This is an important place in Northern Michigan, and the people there deserve the best, and you guys give it to them, and I appreciate that.
Just one last quick thing, George.
Sure.
I'm sure you heard this yesterday. John Feinstein passed away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you knew him or not, but as somebody in the sports media, you certainly have to have had a number of his books on your shelves.
Well, respect him, and there are people who write, and then there are people like John Feinstein. They're above it all in terms of their ability and their tenacity.
Yeah.
And also we lost Junior Bridgman the last couple of days.
I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's an NBA player who went to work after his NBA days, and you don't become a billionaire without working hard.
For sure.
You don't run a bunch of Wendy's without showing up
No.
and making French fries and making sure the people there don't make them properly. So, and Junior Bridgman played on a heck of a team over in Milwaukee with my man Bob Lanier.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, those were good days. And Don Nelson, an amazing coach and a heck of a guy. So I know that the guys who are passed like Bob are hanging out with JB right now and happy for all that he's done. And I hope his family can now relax. $1 billion, that's with a B, folks. So
Yeah.
They'll be set forever.
What a success story. I mean, on and off the court. That's, man, amazing.
And he was making a speech when he had this heart issue, and it probably was something he didn't need to do. You have $1 billion, you're not making speeches for money. I'm sure it was a charitable cause of some kind.
Sure.
The guy was very charitable.
George Blaha, we will see you at the Canoe Marathon in July, but we wanted to get you. Nobody knows more about the Pistons than you do, and I know you got to be thrilled, as you said, going into your 50th year, that the Pistons are revitalized again, and it's just going to be great seeing you in that induction ceremony at the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Thanks, fellas. This is really the third time I've seen a Piston team with the it factor. I thought about it the other day.
Yeah.
There have been the good teams in between, the Grand Hill teams and
Sure.
and some others, but the Bad Boys, the Going to Work group, and now these guys. I think the sky's the limit for these guys. We'll see. It's very, very hard to win in a league with this much talent.
Yeah.
And so many good coaches, but it looks like they have a shot, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, well, and that said, maybe this can be a destination again. We get, that team looks like it's maybe only one piece away. I'm not sure exactly what that piece is, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Let's talk for a minute about Trajan Langdon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
General manager. Troy Weaver brought a lot of these people in, so you can't just discount what he did. He drafted Cade, he drafted Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, Jayla Duran. But Trajan came in and realized that they needed to put some pieces around Cade and those guys so that defenses couldn't crowd Cade and run 2 or 3 guys at him. But another decision that he made, which I think was a great one, at the trade deadline, you're going to start thinking like, oh, who do we really need here? Will maybe help us win something next year or the year after. Instead, he said, these guys have played so hard and so well, they deserve to take this as far as they can take it with this group. Let's just let it run out, play out, that is.
Yeah.
And see where these guys could go. And that was a very selfless thing for a general manager to do. Some general managers, they want to do what they like to do, tinker and make it a little better. And after all, in some ways, that's their job. But he was into helping these young men who play so well together, and the coaches get to where they're capable of getting. So we'll find out now.
Yes, we will, and we'll continue to watch you and Greg Kelser bring us all the action on the tube and see where these Pistons can go. Winning a playoff series is certainly not out of the question.
I agree. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, George. George Blaha. There you go, Rich. I told you I'd pull that off.
Yep, you did. We talked yesterday, and you said George was going to join us, and he did. And, man, it's always great to talk to George.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We will be back after these words from our fine partners on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff, brought to us by Cherry Capital Airport. It's time for Destination.
Dreaming of the sun and sand? TVC Cherry Capital Airport will take you there. Florida beaches, the Caribbean, or the links in Phoenix? Fly nonstop on Allegiant, or with just one stop on American, Delta, or United. Seats are filling up fast. Up to the minute flight details at tvcairport.com.
The Traverse City Record Eagles Simply the Best 2025 Reader's Choice Contest is now open. Nominate your favorite Northern Michigan businesses, organizations, and professionals as Simply the Best. Nominate once daily in each category through Friday, May 9th. In 2024, Simply the Best broke records with nearly 15,000 nominations and more than 29,000 votes. Help your favorites stand out above the rest. Voting begins May 12th. So nominate now at record-eagle.com/simplythebest.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of Northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
It's time for Destination NHL. Jerry Coyne on the phone with Kevin Klein from Cherry Capital Airport. And Kev, can we still get to Carolina?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we fly there every day. It's American Airlines. You can get there all the time. I mean, when you look at what's happening and coming up on the schedules and everything else, good fares all the time. The Carolinas, all to the southeast. American Airlines nonstop to Charlotte, jump over Raleigh, you're there, no problem. It's $400. So it's good opportunity all the time to get to Charlotte for us and anywhere in the southeast with American. But I'm looking at the rest of the schedule there, Jerry, and we got to run the gauntlet. If we're going to do anything, we're running the gauntlet. Everybody we're playing is hot.
Yep.
Freaky, and we're going the wrong way. So we got to change some things. I'm glad Kane put up the big numbers the other night, but I think our problem is these crazy New Jerseys. When we had the Meyer sponsorship, what was a couple of years ago that they put on the jersey, we started losing. So I think the jersey means something. So we better change it. Go back to the old digs, and we'll start winning again. But going forward, as you're right, Washington, little pricey here on the 18th, just shy of $900. But
boy, did that go up! Holy cow!
Yeah, when you look out further, though, going to Vegas, $420, Colorado, $599, St. Louis, $460, Montreal is even great. That's $710. But remember, we're going to Canadian, it's usually double that price. But that end of the season Florida run with the Panthers is $154, Tampa's $196. Even going to Jersey there, it'll be $259. And again, wrapping up against the Leafs is $771, so that's about half the price. So yeah, I mean, we got some good prices to catch this. I'll say a hard schedule, a difficult schedule to wrap up the season.
in the last couple of days, Kevin, I've had different conversations with folks about your flight to Charlotte, because that's where everybody's going. They're flying from TVC Airport to Charlotte and then to St. Croix or St. Thomas. That is now the getaway for all these island trips that people are making here from northern Michigan.
Well, and that's one of the advantages of the schedule that we have. It flies out here usually right around 6 o'clock in the morning every day. It gets you right to Charlotte to hit the major banks, to get you to all the islands. It's a traveler's paradise to have that.
Yep.
And you're down to Charlotte in less than 2 hours. You make that, you're there in the islands by 11.
And as golf season is starting to pop up, Charlotte's not a bad idea. You can play Pinehurst, you can play Pine Needles, Southern Pines. There are so many incredible golf resorts in Carolina to get your game ready before we start playing golf up here in northern Michigan. So, Kev, how do they find out all the flights you have in and out of Cherry Capital Airport?
Hey, you hit it at tvcairport.com.
There you go. Destination any?
Go Wings.
Go Wings, and Tiger Baseball right around the corner, brother.
Hey, quick trip. You want to leave on Monday the 17th to get down to see the Lakeland, you can do it for about $250.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kevin Klein. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I just ran into a couple yesterday at Benetham's, and they were telling me that, it was so easy to get in and out there to St. Croix.
Is that right?
Yeah, they had like an hour layover there, and then direct from Charlotte to St. Croix.
Right. That's the perfect layover. It's not too long and it's not too short where you're trying to get crazy.
Hustling to
exactly.
to the gate.
So that's the perfect amount of time.
Yeah. Let's see. We're running behind, and that's fine because we talked to George a little bit more than we have. So we got some messages from our very fine partners. We will be back to talk Tiger Baseball and maybe a little troubling Detroit Lions news. All that and more on Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio.
Sports on the Michigan News Network.
After plenty of rest and practice while on a double bye, Michigan and Michigan State will finally take the floor at the Big Ten tournament. The Spartans get a noon game, battling Oregon at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Freshman Jeremy Fear says that just winning the Big Ten title, not enough for them.
We're not satisfied. We just want to keep winning and keep moving forward as much as we can. The goal is a national championship, and that's a hard thing to do. As
for the Wolverines, they'll have a rubber match against the Boilermakers at 9 p.m., having split their 2 regular season tilts. The Red Wings didn't lose any ground in the playoff race last night. The Blue Jackets were shut out. The Bruins lost. New York did get an overtime point, but they remained 2 points behind Columbus for the second wildcard spot. Detroit travels to Carolina for a tough one against the Hurricanes. And the Tigers will play in Bradenton tonight. Cater Montero will start with projected 80-degree weather and sun, trying to bounce back from a rough outing last week and stay in the running for one of the final rotation spots. Chris Villar, Michigan News Network.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't? I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. Coming right at you, the excitement you've been waiting for. Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile casino made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Play slots and table games with live dealers at one exciting site, playeagle.com. Sign up today and get a match deposit up to $1,500. That's right, up to $1,500 plus 100 free spins. Eagle Casino and Sports. Go to playeagle.com and start winning today. Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from Spin on Sports, Michigan Sports Dog Morning Show on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 right here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY. Whether it's Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, Michigan, Michigan State, the Big Ten, the Mid-American Conference, all the headlines, all the stories, and always Michigan teams first. It's all right here on Spin on Sports, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard locally on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY.
Welcome back to WGRY 101.1 Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff. Jerry Coyne, Rich Calkins, Spencer Torkelson.
I love it. I love it. Back on the torque train. 4 home runs here in spring. 4 more than he hit all of last year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He was in a slump going into spring last year and never recovered. Complete opposite so far this spring. He's hitting. I mean, he's hitting opposite field home runs. He's hitting to the pole.
2-run double. He had 4 RBIs.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yesterday.
He's simplifying things. And if we get this version of Spencer Torkelson, that's exactly what this lineup needs.
Well, they got to have some right-handed power in this lineup. Torres, his third home run.
How about Gleyber Torres, man? Absolutely playing real well in the spring.
So lots to be excited about. Nothing more, but the pitching has been the starting pitcher. The guys that we are expecting to play or pitch for us, those guys are pitching pretty good. Other than Jackson Jobe, a little weird yesterday.
Really good couple of innings, and then kind of lost it a little bit here.
Which is a little troubling when you lose it in the 4th inning.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I know we're gearing up. He's only going to have a couple more starts before the season starts.
Right.
I mean, there's only like 9 preseason games left.
Less
and they
than 2
play
weeks
in
away.
San Francisco before they go to L.A. in kind of a weird setup.
Is that part of spring training, but yet it's in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic for sure. But again, I like our starting pitching, of course. I mean, those guys are still battling for that 4 and 5.
Well, Casey Mize,
I think he's locked up that.
You hope so.
Yeah.
You hope so. But they can move Montero down and see what happens.
Yep.
Maeda got a little beat up the other day.
He did. He might end up being more of a long relief guy or what. But again, we have extra starters, which is never a bad thing.
Well, Federer and AJ love their versatility. So there's only a couple guys that are just true starters. I mean, obviously, Skubal and Flaherty are going to be 1 and 2. And then
Reese Olson, most likely 3, I mean.
Olson's pitch.
He's really well.
Has he given up a hit?
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I like how Riley Green is playing. He's playing more center field right now.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either because, again, that's where he's got, some of those.
He banged into the wall, made a catch yesterday that Dan Dickerson's like, oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. We got to get him back to left field.
Well, Meadows, it's probably going to be a couple weeks into the season before Meadows is back in the field, hopefully. And, Perez is kind of back and forth. They've got a few minor Vierling.
Yeah, Vierling.
Vierling is.
So that third base position is kind of up in the air.
Yeah, they had Baez at third base yesterday.
Made an error. What? Yeah. Oh, I kind of see, and this is what my hope is. If they're going to play him for a month or so, and it just is not going to work out at all, that finally Chris Ilitch just says, "All right, we're going to eat it."
but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Exactly. Those guys know a lot more.
I was downstate on Saturday. You guys did the show. I was listening to the ticket, and they had a poll up about are you rooting for Torkelson and Javi Baez, and nobody's rooting for Baez. And Torkelson, it was about 50-50. And I agreed with the guy that was on the ticket. Why would you root against him?
Yeah.
You know, we're paying him a lot of money.
That's
it would
right.
be great if, he could turn it around and, be able to play third base when they need him to. He's played third base for the Cubs for a while, but, he made an error yesterday, but Javi Baez hadn't played third base in 7 years.
Yeah,
so it's not surprising that he made an error.
Those balls get on you real quick at third base. They call it the hot corner for a reason.
Yeah, and it's a totally different move than being the shortstop.
It is. And reading the ball off the bat is so different at third compared to short. And it's I never, if you're wearing the Old English D, I'm rooting for you. You know what I mean? I'm not rooting against you. I don't want anyone to do bad wearing the Tigers uniform. So that's what I want. I want the best for him. But again, if he has a resurgence here, I'm right there cheering him on.
No Tigers baseball on today here on Up North Sports Radio. They're back at it tomorrow. Today, I believe we're going to have a couple of the high school semifinal games on the radio.
Nice.
Well, they're the Class A games, and they're pretty good basketball games. What do you got?
The Wayne Memorial is one of them?
Yeah, Wayne Memorial's playing, I can't remember who they're playing. East Lansing is playing Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Is going to be a hell of a basketball game. I'm trying to remember who Wayne Memorial is playing.
I'm going to check here.
But so that's our live sports on the radio, and you'll get the Red Wings tonight.
Wayne Memorial is playing Flint Carmen Ainsworth.
Yeah. So if you want to catch some great high school basketball action on the radio, we'll have it for you here. You want to catch some great Irish play, outdoor play, that's happening tomorrow out at Shanty Creek. Shanty Creek will be having one last blast for the season tomorrow at Shush Mountain with the Irish Weekend. There'll be fun days celebrating all things Irish for skiers and non-skiers alike. They have the Lucky Charm scavenger hunt. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. The snowman building contest, the Shamrock Slide, the Blarney Stone Rail Jam. Yeah!
There you go.
This is for all those who are masters at the Terrain Park. Winners get unlimited, unrestricted season pass for next season. So get out there and register for that. There's DJ dancing. It's going to be a party at Ivan's tomorrow.
Go from the Slush Cup to this weekend, back to back.
Yep.
Crazy.
So, and it's a not easy being green costume contest. So wear your best green outfit and get out to Shanty Creek tomorrow. She put here, I wish you were here. That's very funny, Lindsay. We got some messages from our fine partners, and we'll be back with more sports here on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com. Dreaming of the sun and sand? TVC Cherry Capital Airport will take you there. Book your summer vacation to 20 nonstop destinations served by all 6 airlines, including Avelo and Sun Country. Now's the time to book your 2025 vacation experience. Check out tvcairport.com. tvcairport.com.
The Traverse City Record Eagles Simply the Best 2025 Reader's Choice Contest is now open. Nominate your favorite Northern Michigan businesses, organizations, and professionals as Simply the Best. Nominate once daily in each category through Friday, May 9th. In 2024, Simply the Best broke records with nearly 15,000 nominations and more than 29,000 votes. Help your favorites stand out above the rest. Voting begins May 12th. So nominate now at record-eagle.com/simplythebest.
Saturday, April 5th, Soaring Eagle Casino becomes Daryl's house. Don't miss a legend live, Daryl Hall, with special guest Glenn Tilbrook of Squeeze. Tickets start at $62 and are on sale now at the box office and etix.com. Make your favorite Sarah smile. Daryl Hall with Glenn Tilbrook, Saturday, April 5th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Jim Wiernick Chevrolet has a few ultimate work vans on the lot right now. This is the perfect truck for the small businesses that need to step it up and grow their workforce and customer base. These hard-to-find 2025 Chevy Express vans at Jim Wiernick Chevrolet in Gaylord. Some of these work vans have already been outfitted with interior bin packages. So visit ChevyCentral.com or Jim Wiernick in Gaylord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Jerry Coyne, Rich Calkins. March Madness is here, Rich. I don't know if you saw, there was a number of buzzer beaters in the SEC tournament already, and a huge upset. Texas trying to claw their way into the tournament. They beat Texas A&M, who I know a lot of guys think that the Texas A&M team could make a really serious run in this tournament. You got Cooper Flagg, the presumptive number 1 pick in the draft, unless it's the Wizards. Although, you put Cooper Flagg on the Wizards, they might be a pretty good basketball team. He sprains his ankle.
Yeah, that went down. Man, that did not look good at all.
No, it didn't. I've had my ankle screwed up so many times. Every time I look at that twist of the ankle, I get sick to my stomach.
Oh yeah, I mean, and he didn't step on anyone's foot. He was by himself.
No. If you take a look, the 1/2 part of his foot lands on the front of a guy's.
Oh, seriously, I did not see it because again, it looked like he was all alone there. But but
you're wrong.
He crumpled up, man.
Yeah,
and it was just hate to see that because again, he's the best player in college this year. Everything is looking really good, and so who knows what's going to happen with Duke now?
Well, I doubt he'll play today against North Carolina, and then so he'd get a week. Usually, 10 days to 2 weeks if it's a low ankle. High ankle sprain is a totally different ball of wax. It's hard to play basketball on a high ankle sprain. You can play, you could tape up enough and be pretty effective with a normal sprain. So they're going to do the right thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they are the betting favorite to win the NCAA tournament. So who knows? Who knows? They could probably win their first. It'll be interesting to see what Duke looks like without him today against North Carolina. They've got a really good basketball team. So, I mean, you take the best player off any team, and it's going to have an effect. Right. They don't need to win. North Carolina is going to play super hard. They got their doors blown off by Duke both games this year.
But they are playing better. They played better the last couple of weeks. But every time they matched up this year, Duke just crushed them.
Yeah. In the Big Ten tournament, who was it? Indiana lost their first game out. That probably put them out of the tournament. Same thing with Ohio State.
Joe Lunardi has them as the first four.
Yeah, so that's gonna take probably 2 teams from the Big Ten out of the tournament. So numbers wise, it's not going to look great, but. Today starts, the big boys are in. Michigan has got Purdue. Who is it? Michigan State's, I got to look now. I had this all memorized.
Did you see that the Minnesota coach after they lost, the AD flew home to Minnesota because he was at a committee meeting and fired the coach at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Good for him.
It was like, they were like,
good for him.
We had enough of this, and he'd been there 4 years. So
I know he took over for Pitino's kid.
Pitino, yeah, exactly. And they were hoping to build on the success that Richard Pitino had gotten Minnesota too.
Yeah, Michigan State's got Oregon. That's the first game out of the blocks. That's at noon today. Then my Bruins play Wisconsin. That's going to be a really good basketball game. Yes. Illinois' got Maryland, and Michigan's got Purdue.
Illinois put a hundo and 6 or something on the board yesterday.
Look out for the Illinois team. They started the year out. I think they made it. They were ahead of Michigan State.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of injuries. This kid who is the Big Ten freshman of the year missed 5 or 6 games. They had a couple other their starters. I mean, if you saw what they did to Michigan, these guys kill on the boards. So,
and like you said, the key, they're healthy now, and they're playing.
And a lot of people think that Maryland has the best starting 5 in the Big Ten.
Wow!
So there's some really good basketball games tonight. I don't imagine that Oregon will give Michigan State too much of a problem, but the other 3 games are going to be really fun to watch. Wisconsin had it really going on. They slipped up the last couple of games. They play a pretty hot UCLA team. So the cream of the crop of the Big Ten is dangerous, and then we'll see if Michigan can shrug off. Hey, they look like total crap in the first half of that Michigan State game. I turned it off.
Did you? Yeah, you just couldn't bear to watch anymore.
And there was golf on. The Arnold Palmer was on, and so I'm watching that, and I go, I wonder if they crept back in, and they did, and they cut it to 6 against Michigan State. That's as far as they could go. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do against a Purdue team that at one time had the best record in the Big Ten. We've had a lot of jockeying for position here. I mean, when Michigan played at Purdue, they took an ass whooping.
Yeah, they did.
So it'll be interesting to see how some of these players. Trey Donaldson has really, his play has completely fallen off.
Right.
So Dusty May had some interesting things to say in his press conference after the Michigan State game, and then the conference going into this tournament. So we'll see if words translate into action for a Michigan team that is probably a year ahead of schedule.
Agreed. Yeah, because I think that Michigan has surprised a lot of teams on how well they have gelled together with almost completely new roster.
Yeah.
So new coach, new roster, all of that. It usually takes time to figure that stuff out. But again, Dusty May has done a phenomenal job in getting Michigan to where they are. Yeah. And it'll be interesting, like you said, to see if they can regroup after they were riding that high for a long time. And now they've taken a stumble. Can they regroup and get it back together?
Well, time will tell, and it starts tonight. So that's the last game in the block. They go at 9:00 tonight in the Big Ten tournament down in Indianapolis. I know some people that are at that game. They're already there's a bar that all these guys, this Irish bar in downtown Indianapolis, that is the de facto U of M bar, because they've been down there so often.
Okay.
The last 3 years for the football championship, and down there. So
So they're
fun time
taking over. And with the St. Patty's Day weekend, it's Yep. You need no extra.
Yep. And then the brackets come out on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun time. Speaking of fun times, we have, you don't hear about it as often on Up North Sports Radio, but we do have the Q Crawl happening today from, I'll be at the Silver Dollar in Higgins Lake from 12 to 1:30. Then we'll be at the at Ray's Barbecue Brew and Blues. I'm sure Rich will be there stuffing his face with shepherd pie from 3 to 4:30, and then we finish up at the North Shore Lounge from 5 to 7:30. So the games will be on. We'll be hooting and hollering. You can win an overnight stay and free golf at Shanty Creek. That's what we're registering to win.
Nice.
Got a lot of swag, a lot of drink specials, and everything else. It's going to be a beautiful day. So if you want to come out and watch some sports and have some fun hanging with me. I'd love to talk to any of you sports fans about any subject. As you could tell, I have my opinions on it all. One quick thing, Rich. Are you concerned about the Lions' lack of activity?
I mean, I'm not surprised, shall we say. I didn't think, I think Brad Holmes came out initially prior to free agency and said he didn't anticipate making any huge deals. You know, I'm always hoping they can find another pass rusher some way, somehow. They end up cutting. Yeah, they cut Smith there, the signing they had late in the season last year. And so I'm really hoping that
they obviously didn't think he was worth $6 million.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to sign him back for a little bit less money.
That's always the possibility. They brought Davenport back. You know, they figure they can get 1.5 games out of him. And
well, how many times can he be hurt? I
don't know. The law of averages got to swing back there. Some he can remain somewhat
healthy. They signed. They signed mostly their guys. They signed Barnes to a 3-year deal. You know, assuming they all come back healthy, then that's great. There's still some pass rushers out there that are available. I mean, you know, talk about availability. Can Joey Bosa stay healthy and play for the Bills?
Oh, I know. Yeah, if he's healthy, man, that really adds a ton to that defense.
They lost Zeitler, which I'm not crazy about.
Right, I see that. He signed a $9 million. I think he got offered $6 million by the Lions. He got paid $9 million.
Yep.
And so, yeah, he's making the best decision for him and his family for sure.
So, yeah, there's a couple places you like to see him shore up because, you know, unless Holmes has got some idea about moving up in the draft, which he's done every year.
He's always wheeling.
I mean, I know they're not going to move up to get Abdul Carter, but there's a couple of other pass rushers in this draft. The one thing that's kind of concerning about that, like if they're not going to get an experienced pass rusher, like, you know, Von Miller or some of these other guys that are available, you generally don't see a kid right out of college be that impactful first year out in the NFL.
There's a transition
period. There really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hutch was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But, man, the other two pass rushers that people were trying to figure out, and those guys haven't even really panned out. What's his name that went to New York?
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. And then the other one that went to Jackson.
They got picked in front of. I like, wow, thank you. I mean,
what's his name?
Aiden. What is it? They're like, oh man, his athleticism's off the charts. Well, he's off the charts, all right. You don't hear much about him. But man, to have Hutchinson drop into our lap, it was like a miracle from God for sure.
Yeah, you know, some guys went. Tampa Bay made some other teams have made some pretty big splashes. Are you concerned about the Bears?
The Bears are, man, they had some money and they are spending it.
They put it on the O-line. You know, Ben Johnson, it's not lost on him.
No, how important that offensive line is. Yes. Yeah, they've made some really good moves there for sure. One of the moves, the Allen defensive tackle guy from Washington,
went to the
two-time
Vikes.
All-Pro. I was hoping, man, that would be a nice. I've always liked his play. He's a tough guy. He gives you some pass rush up the middle, and you're all right. He signs with the Vikings.
Yeah, and then of course the big question is, where is Aaron Rodgers going to go?
I'm sure as long as all the attention's on him, he'll drag it out as long as he can.
Well, according to McAfee, he's not even in the country.
I'm not sure he's in the country when he's in the country.
Well,
ayahuasca.
Yeah. We will be back here tomorrow for our last Sarah High School scoreboard show. There's one gal's
the Frankfurt Panthers, the Lady Panthers are still playing.
Yeah, it was a kind of a bloodletting for all the teams that we follow, ladies on the ladies' side on what was it, Wednesday night?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's about time that the high school season has run its course for us. So we might be talking about some.
We might need some filler.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. So if you like off schedule chatter, tomorrow might be your day to listen up. So, anyways, that's going to do it for us here on Up North Sports Radio. We will be back, as I said, tomorrow morning from 10 to 11. And here next week on Friday Faceoff, brought to us by tvcairport.com.
Friday, April 4th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Los Lobos and Los Lonely Boys. I've been lost in my own place. The Brotherhood Tour. Tickets start at $47 and are on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com. April 4th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. East LA meets Texican. The Brotherhood Tour. Los Lobos and Los Lonely Boys. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
To tell them whether or not he wants to play for them.
Ross Tucker here on the show. Ross, you made me think of something. And I know retirement for every athlete, professional athlete, is different circumstances. Sometimes it's injury, sometimes you get to choose more than other guys. But you, Aaron Rodgers, any of the other former NFL players we've had on, you spent years at the very, very, very pinnacle of a profession that's remarkably competitive. I'm sure in many ways it defined huge chunks of your life. It takes not just talent, but incredible work ethic and effort and time and sacrifice. And I'm just curious, in your own experience or friends of yours, whatever perspective you can give us, if you're an Aaron Rodgers and you're trying to figure out whether you keep playing, how do you come to the point where you make that leap as a relatively young person, right? If you put the fact you play sports aside, of changing everything you've known about your life for a long time?
Well, there's so many factors. It's not even funny, especially for a guy like him. You know, I talk with guys. Heck, I had Teron Armstead, okay? Teron Armstead was on my show, the Ross Tucker Podcast, on Monday. Bill, he's played 28 years of football, okay? He's been playing since he was 5. He's 33. He's made $115 million. And so Ron and I talked about it both on the show and after. Here's the biggest thing that goes through the minds of these guys. And because people talk about legacy and all these things, here's the two biggest factors as far as I can tell with every guy I've ever talked to, right? It's not really money. It's whatever money he's going to get for this year, whether it would be Rodgers, Teron Armstead, or whatever. At this point, it's not really going to make a difference in his life, the money part of it. But a serious or significant injury would. You know, that would have a big difference on the rest of his life. The flip side to that is, this is not golf. This isn't tennis. It's not even basketball or hockey. When you're done, it's over. It's like turning a light switch over. And the truth is, Bill, anytime I talk about this, right now you can't see me because I'm talking on my phone on the radio. My eyes are filling up because the reality is you will never feel close to that alive doing anything else you could ever do in your life, right? Like, no matter what, okay, no matter what, I don't care how much money you make, I don't care what fun things you do, you cannot replicate running out there in front of 80,000 people, and then not only that, but having the omnipresent threat of violence, of danger. It's hard to understand if you've never done it, but guys know that when it's over, and on some level, you will miss it every single day, for the rest of your life.
I mean, I believe it. I obviously can't relate to it, but as a casual pretend athlete, right? Those of us out there, my brother golfs. My buddy is obsessed with his softball league. Another dude that I'm really good friends with, for whatever reason, bowling's his thing. I'm a relatively good tennis player at 47 years old. If the lights went off on that, and obviously it's a casual, chill thing, but if I could never play tennis again, I'd be depressed. My brother couldn't golf, he'd be depressed. I mean, it is such a thing to give up. And in that context, Ross, does it sometimes obscure an Aaron Rodgers' just ability to assess properly the level they're at based on the stakes you're talking about, just to be reasonable with themselves?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, he's going to turn 42 during the season. I'm sure he doesn't like the way last year ended. I think that's one of the big reasons also why Travis Kelce came back. The reality is, though, like, what are the odds that it will end better this year for Travis Kelce? Right? Like, I know the Chiefs are one of the favorites, but still not exactly. Like, it's less than 50% chance, for sure, way less, that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce gets to go out on top. And I would say for Aaron Rodgers, like, what if he goes to the Giants? Why? You know, like, what does success look like for him if he goes to the Giants? They make the playoffs, and then he can go out and say he helped turn that franchise around. Like, what does that do for him? If he goes to the Steelers, I think if he helps them win their first playoff game in like 10 years, I think that is pretty cool. I think he probably knows, though, that, you know, neither one of those teams really have a great chance to actually, you know, win the Super Bowl or anything like that. But he loves the sport. He loves throwing the football. He loves being out there with the guys. He knows that when it's over, it's over. So I didn't actually think Aaron would play as long as he's playing right now. He's gotten this far that I would think he'll play, but I mean, it would be hilarious on some level if he just announced his retirement, you know, with like 3 teams wanting him right now.
And maybe, I mean, it's not my job to tell a grown man what to do with his life, but maybe not a terrible outcome. Ross Tucker here on the show. Ross, I think sometimes I think all the time in American society, we are very microwave focused. What can I have now? What's happened immediately? We don't, in my opinion, look at long-term realities as much as maybe we should. Eagles are Super Bowl champions. It didn't all come crashing down when they lost in the Super Bowl a couple years ago and weren't great last year. The Patriots weren't exactly back-to-back champions as they put together their run of excellence spread over a bunch of years. My point is, sometimes teams have lulls and we sleep on them a little bit. In that context, when you look at the Niners and the fact that they still have the quarterback who's gotten them really, really close and they're going to pay him, but they've had the natural talent drain that happens because we live in a world where there's a cap, and you assess all the other things about San Francisco. What are they next year as best you can guess? Are they elite? Are they fine? What are the Niners going to be in the NFC?
I think, and this is why you're so good at what you do, I think it's one of the most interesting questions to come out of this week. I really do. I think, I mean, they've lost a lot now. You know, you think about Dre Greenlaw, Andrew Funga, and Trevarius Ward, and Hargrave, and then on offense, you know, losing Aaron Banks, and, you know, they have to release Juszczyk. I mean, they have now lost a lot, not to mention Debo, of course. I think they have enough there that if they're healthy, which is a big if, of course, after this past year, if they're healthy, they're certainly in the mix, but I would say they're no longer, you know, the favorite in the NFC. That's got to be the Eagles. And then I would even say after that, it's got to be probably still the Lions, even though they lost some people. And I would put the Niners kind of there, like after that, with the Packers, the Bucks, you know, those type of teams in terms of playoff, the Commanders, where they're absolutely in the mix and absolutely could go to the Super Bowl, but they're not a prime target to be the 1 or 2 seed like the Eagles and Lions. Of course, I forgot the Rams, who should be up there as well. The Rams might actually be right there with the Lions. I mean, I feel pretty confident about a bunch of the playoff teams for next year, although I know I'll be wrong about 1 or 2. I just don't know which one.
The outstanding Ross Tucker here on the show. Ross, before we, not fix, it's great, enhance Tom's marriage, let me ask you about myfrontpagestory.com, and for folks that aren't familiar, why this is a perfect cheat code for a happy spouse or mom or whomever you're looking for a gift for.
Well, for everybody listening to the show, you know or you should know how accomplished of a writer Bill is, right? So myfrontpagestory.com has a team of writers, maybe not Bill quality, but very good writers, and all they do all day is write stories about loved ones or anybody, right? Yeah, somebody retires, or somebody has a birthday party, 70, 75. It's first of all, it's the greatest gift you could ever give any grandparent, by far. Okay, especially if you know someone in a senior care. I'm telling you, if you give this to a grandparent, they literally read it every day. They love the newspaper, and to write a story about their lives, how much they're loved, and get quotes from not only their children but grandchildren, they will read it. We got one from my wife's grandmother. She read it in her senior care community every single day. It means that much to these people. So go ahead, check it out, myfrontpagestory.com. Whether you're Dito and you need to make up for taking a big L on Valentine's Day again, or you're anybody else that just wants to make your grandparents and give them the best gift they'll have with their life. And then, by the way, when your grandparents are gone, you'll still have that story written about them and how special they are. It's really, really cool, man. I'm a big believer in telling people how you feel about them. Huge fan of the written word. myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com.
All right, Ross Tucker. Tom DeCelestino, we call him Pretty Daddy here on the show, already has a myfrontpagestory.com hanging in his house for his wife. But they just had their second baby, Mazel Tov, a few months ago. They're not getting a lot of sleep. You know how this goes, second kid. And I personally, Ross, in the last 2 years, have gotten into cooking. I've become a pretty good cook, and I've got some pretty easy recipes, and I'm trying to get Tom to just go. Some of these are an hour. You could be an idiot like me and still make a gourmet meal. Trying to get Tom to go home, surprise his wife, make her dinner. Just one night, say, babe, sweetie, whatever you call her, Tom, love of my life, Mrs. Pretty Daddy, I got this. And he won't do it, but he respects you. Jury's out on how he feels about me. Can you just weigh in on why, I don't know, maybe you disagree, why every now and then it's nice to just surprise your wife with something like that?
Anytime you surprise your wife, it's nice. Now, I don't know if she's like my wife, but that would not, my wife would be...
Okay.
My wife would be shocked, absolutely shocked. But my wife much prefers if I would take her out to dinner. Much prefers.
Ooh, okay.
You got to figure out what kind of wife you got. Because my wife, the whole time we'd be eating, would be, first of all, acting like it tastes good, even though it doesn't.
Okay, got it.
And then she'd be thinking about, is he going to do the dishes after this, or do I have to do them? Like that would be hanging over the whole dinner. Would be, even if I said to her, and I'll do the dishes, she doesn't even trust me, Bill, to do the dishes the right way. She doesn't want me to do the dishes. Like, she feels like I don't do them properly. So, I don't know. If I'm Tom, I get her another myfrontpagestory.com, or I take her out to dinner, unless he's really good at it.
Damn, Ross, this really 180'd on me. This is why Tom loves you, because you backed him. I thought we backed him into a corner. We backed me into a corner. Ross Tucker, you're the absolute best. I love the insight, man, and the candor. Thank you, as always, for making time for us.
Of course, my pleasure. Great talking with you always.
Thank you, pal. You too. Ross Tucker on social media at Ross Tucker NFL, myfrontpagestory.com. Tom, Ross is right about everything but the cooking. Make your wife a meal. And he's cooked up for you, buy or sell, next year on Brighter Than You.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
At the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Now's the best time to get that Hyundai car or SUV you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that? Think again. But don't wait. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now. So visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai.
Help! My cat needs saving!
Oh no. Has he tried Navy Federal Credit Union? They have lots of great savings and investing options.
What? No, he needs help.
Well, with Navy Federal's financial advisors and online tools, he can get all the help he needs. Whew, got him.
Good catch.
Sign up at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Savings products insured by NCUA. Investment products are not insured, not obligations of Navy Federal, and may lose value.
Happy Friday. It's Dublin 910 meteorologist Haley Fischetti. Here's a look at today's forecast. Partly cloudy skies across the region today with windy conditions across northern Michigan from the southeast around 10 to 20 miles per hour. We're looking at a small chance of rain showers in the afternoon hours with temperatures in the mid-40s to low 70s. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies with more rain showers moving in, even the chance of those thunderstorms with winds staying strong from the southeast. Lows are in the low 40s to mid-50s, and heading into Saturday, winds will stick around with more thunderstorms in the morning hours and partly cloudy with isolated showers throughout the day. With all the details and a look at that forecast over on Manatee News.
The weather is brought to you by Pioneer Hills Marine. Don't wait too late. Visit Pioneer Hills Marine to pick out the right pontoon, fishing boat, or jet ski just for you. Pioneer Hills Marine, making memories priceless.
Wow, what a winter it's been. Hi, Tom Boland from Quality Truck and Auto in Grayling. We all love living here, but ice, snow, and salt don't love your truck or car. At QTA, we can undercoat your vehicle starting at just $500. As vehicle prices spiral, you'll need to protect your investment. QTA offers ceramic paint, corrosion, and undercarriage protection packages. Visit us at QTAonline.com or call us at 989-745-6127. QTA, the lifeguard for your baby.
Over 110 million albums sold worldwide. Def Leppard live Friday, July 18th at Soaring Eagle Casino with special guest Collective Soul. Tickets start at $58 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Def Leppard rocks the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series with Collective Soul Friday, July 18th. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Welcome back to Writer Than You.
I think a baked potato is grossly overrated unless you gotta fill it up. It's gotta have cheese. It's gotta have sour cream. Then you gotta make the bacon. Do I have to make bacon? It takes an hour to make the bacon the right way.
I say this in a loving way.
Say it.
I don't know how to talk to you anymore.
On the Infinity Sports Network.
Welcome back into the show. We're in a music off. We're testing Tom's musical acumen. He's been fine. This is a song he's played all the time, but I'll allow it. I do kind of love this song.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I play this song all the time because that's what you demand. Every Friday. Every Friday.
Whoa, whoa. No, Tom DiBenedetto did this when he